I want to introduce you guys to somebody who is a good friend of mine from home. I went to high school with this guy, and he is now a full-service real estate broker located in Virginia Beach. This is somebody who I consult with personally. I've been talking with him a lot lately about investment ideas in the real estate space. I see this guy closing deals all the time, and it's kind of got me interested in investing in physical real estate again. His name is Phillips from Inlet Realty. He recently closed a deal where an investor client of his invested $25,000 and is projected to generate a 21%. They call it cash on cash return. We would call it a yield. So a 21% yield in real estate from a $25,000 investment. And then another deal that he closed a year ago for an investor client of his, well, they're up over 100%. We would call it an unrealized capital gain because they haven't sold it yet. They have different terminology for all of that stuff. That's what Christian's gonna be doing. He's gonna be walking us through what he looks for when he's sizing up an investment in real estate, residential real estate, commercial real estate. He does sales, he does listings, he does property management. So that's what I mean when I say full service. Christian, why don't you tell us how you can help me, how you can help our viewers here on Dividends and Income generate more income and build more wealth, or how you're gonna help us make more money, because quite frankly, we are primarily a stock related channel, and I personally believe that the stock market is the way to go for generating income and building wealth. But of course, you probably have another opinion. So
Greg, thank you so much for the introduction. I really look forward to working with you guys on this channel. I firmly believe there is no better way to build long-term wealth and cash flow than investing in residential real estate.
Of course you're gonna say that. Which is why we're having you on the channel, to give a different opinion here than what most of us on the channel believe. But go ahead.
It really is. I know that you just sold a building of yours to take that money out of real estate and put it into the stock market. I'm going to argue why you should have kept it there and maybe moved it into a different property, or just tweaked the investment that you had to generate better income and wealth building than you were seeing. I can give you a lot of tips on how to take a property that you already own and make it cash flow better and make your return on your investment better. And then I can show you what makes a good property to invest in versus one that maybe you should pass on. That they may appear the same on the surface, but when you take a closer look, not all properties make good investment properties. So you may have had your hands on one that just didn't make a lot of sense, but I'm a fan of real estate. I firmly believe that it is your best way to achieve long-term wealth building and income.
And that's what excites me, to be honest, because I was relieved to sell this property of mine, because I feel like I sleep better at night without it. But that could also be, in all honesty, yep.
Based on what you told me about that, you should be sleeping better well at night, because your property wasn't doing very well from what you told me. I wouldn't have slept well with that property either, but we'll take a look at what, maybe, was it the wrong property, or was there just things that you could have done better on that? But yeah, from what you described, I wouldn't sleep well at all either.
Well, this is why I'm excited to introduce a new angle, because I know that I can learn something. And I thought that I was going to be like the guy on the channel that was going to talk about investing in real estate because of my experience in it. But then I realized a little bit into it, I'm not the guy. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to always, I'm going to be talking about promoting opportunities in the stock market or the options market instead. And so it'll be good. It'll be educational for me, hopefully educational for the people watching this, to hear from somebody who actually lives and breathes this stuff and who has enjoyed some success, because the two examples that I mentioned in the beginning, that stuff sounds awesome. And hopefully you'll be able to do videos on each of those and talk us through where I can invest $25,000 to get a safe, 20% annual yield would be amazing.
I've definitely got a few inputs on what you could do with $25,000. I'm going to be able to show you ways to get into the real estate market with nothing out of pocket. I have clients who own over 100 doors now and have amassed all of those using none of their own money. There's a lot of ways to invest in this market. You can use your profits that you've recently taken, or there's other ways to do it with very, very minimal actual out-of-pocket investment. I can show you several ways to get into the market that way.
Obviously, the opportunity to put no money down sounds good. There's got to be like downsides to that I know you're going to be talking about, but what else?
Well, I'm going to start with what I just talked about there on how to enter the real estate market with as little out-of-pocket investment as possible. Some folks don't have a ton of money that they're willing to risk right now. Other people have a bunch of money that they don't know what to do with right now. So we're going to cover the low-cost entry points into the market and some where you have a lot more capital invested. We're going to talk about residential versus commercial investing. Residential real estate is an amazing place to invest, but the commercial side does have higher returns. It usually requires a little more out of pocket, but the returns are worth it if you can come up with that money. We're going to talk about what a cap rate is versus what a cash on cash return is. The difference on those two, leverage. We're going to talk about leverage and what leverage does for investing in real estate. We're going to talk about something called the BRRRR method. If you've never heard of that, it is an absolutely amazing way to invest in real estate with very, very little out of pocket. If you do have a pile of money, we're going to use that pile of money over and over and over again, that same pile of money to invest in property after property after property. We're going to talk about multifamily investing versus single family investing. Multifamily properties come with a little more risk and a little bit more return. We're going to talk about what those risks are and why the returns are better. We're going to talk about the language and the lingo that you need to know to invest in real estate and actually sound like you know what you're doing when you're talking to somebody. You don't want to sound like a rookie when you're trying to negotiate your first deal. So we're going to learn terms like P&L and T12, what those things mean. We're going to learn what makes a good rental property versus what doesn't make a good rental property. There's a lot of very subtle factors to go through on that. And then we're going to talk about a term that I love called house hacking. It is probably the easiest way to get into real estate investing, and we're going to talk about what that is. I look forward to having a monthly discussion with you on what's the best place that you can put $25,000 right now. I suspect that you're going to think that it's going to be the stock market. I'm usually going to argue that it's the real estate market. But I'm going to be straight with you too. It's not always a good time to invest in real estate. We're going to talk about what makes a good market versus what makes a bad market and my predictions on where our current housing market is headed. I look forward to answering any questions that anybody has. I can advise you on real estate investing in the state of Virginia. I am a Virginia licensed real estate broker, but a lot of these principles apply nationally. And if you're going to be investing in your own state, I would recommend that you would find somebody like me who's an expert in your area. But the reality is, to invest in real estate, you don't have to invest locally. Most of my investor clients don't live anywhere near their investment properties. I manage properties for people who live full-time in Japan and have a huge portfolio out here in Virginia. The fact that they're on the other side of the planet doesn't make a single difference in how we invest. And I can help you invest remotely. I love the market of Southeast Virginia. We have the largest concentration of active duty military in the country here. We have about 60,000 active duty military people here who move in and out of our area on a 3-year basis. So we have a constant churn in our housing market here. It makes for a higher than normal demand for rentals and a higher than normal demand for high-end rentals, because just because you're renting doesn't mean you want to live in a cheap apartment. If you're only going to be here for 2 or 3 years, you don't want to buy a house, you want to rent one. And so we have a very robust rental market here in Southeast Virginia. I'm going to be able to show you some of the opportunities that are available for you to invest here remotely. If you live in Oregon or Washington State and you want to invest in Southeast Virginia, I can help you do that. I'm happy to answer all of your questions.
So that is what I'm personally most interested in, because most of the people following this channel, we're looking for accessible investment opportunities. The stock market makes it very easy, no matter where you live, to invest in businesses. And so if I find somebody that I trust and that who is knowledgeable of the market. And this is why I'm talking to you, because I think I found him in you, or I know I found him in you, and you come up with an opportunity in your area. Me being in New York or Florida or whatever, I think that would be attractive to see an opportunity that you come across. So if you can present that on this channel, so you come across, a new listing becomes available and you go and you vet it and you cover it, or you, even if you don't like the idea, I guess, like even if you don't like it as an opportunity, but just if you can talk about it here and see like, this is what I would look at, and here's how here's how my brain works, here's what I think the downside, the potential risks are, the downsides, here's also how you could turn this into a better opportunity with some investments and some upgrades or updates to the place or whatever. But I think that would be, for me, that would offer a ton of value to be able to have you hunt down a property, feature it, walk through what the potentials are, come up with like a potential projected yield or cash on cash return for us. And then not only that, if we're actually able to invest in that, I think that would be kind of neat because you are full service.
It's absolutely an option. The market is really hot right now. So what you're going to see me talk about most of the time here are deals that I've just been able to execute for my current clients. If you are liking what you see in the kind of deals that we're able to close here, I'd be happy to work with any investor that you have watching this channel to work with them individually outside of this channel and set them up on a search, because the best properties, the true money-making investment opportunities in this market don't hang around for very long. There's usually a pile of offers on them within a week or so. Yeah. It's easy to get caught up and overpay for something just because you really like it, and when you're up against other people, you want to take a big swing at it. So we'll talk about how to win a bidding war. We'll talk about how to keep from overpaying and make sure that your numbers are solid. And, if somebody else wants to overpay for that property, that's fine. Maybe we should just let that one go. But as the market evolves, I think we will have some real-time opportunities to put out to everybody who's watching and see if you want to invest in something like that. We stay on top of the market. We look for opportunity. We very quickly underwrite these properties as they hit the market. And then we find which investor of ours is looking for something like that, and we pair everybody up. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of inventory out there just hanging around. But we can also talk about ways to create your own inventory. The best deals that I've ever been a part of have been off-market deals where you don't have to compete against the general public because you found the property yourself before it actually hit the market. We'll talk about a technique, we call it driving for dollars, where you actually physically drive around and look for properties to invest in. And we'll talk about what that's like and what are we looking for when you're driving around. How do you spot an opportunity from one house to another on the same street?
Take a camera along with you and a mic and record that. I think that would be awesome. I'm excited to have you, a different voice in a different sector outside of stock market, options market is going to be just refreshing, I think. And so is that good for now, Christian, or did you want to add anything else?
I mean, diversification is the key, right? If you have all of your funds in one place and the stock market tanks, you're going to take a big loss. But if you have some of your funds in equities and if you have some of your funds in real estate and either market, the odds of both markets tanking at the same time are pretty low. So the more you spread out your money into different opportunities, the more insulated you're going to be against economic downturn. And I think real estate is the perfect place if you're worried about inflation, if you're worried about hyperinflation, if all the quantitative easing that's gone over the last decade is bothering you, then real estate is a great place to put your money because real estate is hedges against inflation. As inflation happens, property values go up, rents go up, which means your cash flow goes up and your value goes up. But you know what stays the same? The mortgage and the price that you paid for it. So it's a beautiful place to insulate yourself against upcoming economic uncertainty. We're the best property managers in Southeast Virginia. We pride ourselves on that, and we work We are very, very good at putting upward pressure on your rents and making sure that your properties are occupied, not sitting vacant, and bringing in the most rent possible. We'll talk about some different techniques for how to raise rent on existing tenants without making them mad, and what the best protocols are in general for getting the rents up on an underperforming building.
You guys, just for full transparency, Christian, am I getting paid anything from you if you end up making a deal?
We have no business arrangement. There are no kickbacks in place here.
Okay.
My advice is honest and genuine, and I'm going to tell you the truth. We pride ourselves here at Inlet on our ethics and our honesty, and I haven't made as much money as other people, but the money that I've made from being honest and treating people right.
Yep, and that is why you are here on this channel. So I know your character. Like I said, you guys went to high school with Christian. One of my best friends since he walked in the first grade Mrs. Frank's class wearing a t-shirt, or wearing a shirt, I think he had a collar on it, that reminded me of corn stalks. So that's how far back we go. So anyways.
Greg was my first friend at a new school and gave me a nickname on day one and everything. It was fabulous. And we've been friends ever since. So.
Cornstalk. All right, you guys, that is all we've got for today. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end of this video. I am excited about what's to come. I hope you guys are too. We just keep trying to make this channel better and better by diversifying the personalities that we have on here. We don't want to be so rigid that we say this is the only way that you should be investing. It's good to be challenged, I think. And I know that out of everything that we've covered so far, this should, talking about real estate investment opportunities, physical real estate investment opportunities, should be challenging you guys if you are typically a stock investor. If you got anything out of today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber, then please consider subscribing. If you want to get an alert the next time that one of us, including Christian, posts a video to the channel, then please be sure to tap or click the notification bell, and YouTube should let you know. That is all we've got for today. One of us will be back soon, probably tomorrow. In the meantime, take care, you guys.